How strong, Akogun, what is the numerical strength of the corps in your area of supervision, the Ondo State Corps? Is it growing in strength? Are you still recruiting? What's the number you're working with now?
Well, I want to say that the government of Ondo State, like I told you earlier on, is resolute in ensuring adequate security of lives and properties in Ondo State. We have men of Amotekun Corps in the 18 local governments. We have 6 area offices. We have specialized squads for anti-open grazing and a number of others. So, as to the exact number, that's a security issue. But for now, we will be recruiting very shortly. We have been recruiting, and we will continue to train and retrain.
You said that intelligence has been quite helpful, very, very useful in your operations. Where is this in? First of all, do you have your own intelligence branches, or as you did mention, the DSS? But I just wanted to know, it was gratifying to hear, because we know that intelligence is one of the most useful tools in combating these crimes. How does that work? Do you have your own specialized intelligence? Do you have your local intelligence? The DSS you've mentioned already.
Thank you very much. The strength of our operation is in quality intelligence network. So the Ondo State Security Network Agency has a full-fledged department of intelligence, and we collaborate with the locals in every major town in Ondo State. We have those that are honorary members. We have those that we share direct intelligence. Very little wonder that, you remember that about 2 years ago, by our digital and quality intelligence, we were able to track those parading with heavy equipment that was widely publicized, and I'm sure they are cooling down in the correctional centers now. Also, a couple of weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago, we got an intel from our own network that a group of people are coming with weapons, and we paraded 17 of such people that came in without any clear destinations and with different charms, daggers, guns, and a lot of other things like that. So we have our own intelligence network. What I mean by sharing intelligence is there are situations where we feel that it is proper that we notify the police, the DSS, the army, the civil defense of an impending danger, since the ultimate goal of all security agencies is to provide security of lives and property. So we tell them, and you know for sure that these mother agencies have been there for ages before us. So some of the time we rely on them for tracking, like Ondo State. Some of the time when we have kidnapping cases, we rely on them for tracking, giving us geolocation, and a host of other things that we want to say on air.
Okay, I get that. You know, because still on this matter of intelligence, the part of the citizenry has also always been highlighted. We hear it often in the line, see something, say something. Is the corps, you know, organized in a way where they have the assurance of the people are not scared of them, the people can actually do that? See something, say something. Is the corps open to those methods, including whatever other methods that you are using? Because I imagine the corps, perhaps more than the other agencies, will have their ears very, very close to the ground.
Yes, like I had earlier on told you, our strength is in the people. We cannot be everywhere every time, but we have our ears close to the ground. I'll tell you this for free, that because of the setup put in place by the corps, we can tell you whatever happens in every cranny of the state within minutes. And this is duly led to the cooperation and confidence of the people by what we stand for, the truth, justice. And over the years, they have come to realize that Amotekun is indeed a friend, and it's always a friend indeed. I told you that we had compressed, had response to distress from maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours to minutes. And in the 18 local governments, once you key in into a distress line call from any part of the state, within minutes you get respite. And that's why we are made known to the public that the 0807999989 number that we use as our distress call line is open. Even if you tell us we are more interested in the quality of the information you want to give us, and you can be sure that in minutes that you find respite, our men are there. So we have a complete radio room, complete set of trained personnel to handle IT and communication equipment. And like I said, we stand out because apart from the conventional security, at times we deploy unconventional security just to ensure safety and security of lives and property.
Okay. Now, when that video that was going on as you were speaking, you would have seen it yourself because you yourself were, the lead on that video. It was in the parading of some, suspects. I was going to ask, is this a major, this particular one that is highlighted now, maybe because it's the latest, is this very much your sort of modus operandi, and how do we go from here? I don't imagine it's your first, but if it is, where are we going to go from here? Because people want to hear of a resolution of these matters one way or the others. You notice that I use the word, as you yourself would, suspects. Okay, that's the way the law works. They are suspects. They must be processed. Are they processed, and do we actually have convictions, or, it could also go the other way around, they might be discharged? Do we proceed beyond what we've just seen, which is the parading of suspects? Where is the next step?
Well, maybe you follow what I said. The core, when we carry out arrest, will start profiling, do detailed investigation. So those that are worth going to court, we prosecute directly. And as I talk to you, we have hundreds of men that were arrested in various correctional centers, some of them undergoing prosecution, some of them jail terms. So we don't stop at arresting. In fact, those people that you could see being paraded, they are the ones that the profiling had reached a stage where you have reasonable evidences to show that.
Okay, we lost sound momentarily there, but I think I get what you were saying. In case,
from there,
okay. So
wait.
You said that these people, they're in various places, stages of processing.
Prosecution, yes.
Yes. So those that we were seeing on this film clip were, I imagine, brought from custody, such as you described as one of the methodologies, because you've done your work and you say it is worth, advancing, going forward with them. These ones
by tomorrow they will start taking them to court, and from there, the processes of prosecution, defense, at the end of the day, to those that are guilty, they go to court and correctional centers.
Yes. So Amotekun can prosecute directly. You don't.
The law setting up the call as amended grants such leave for Amotekun to prosecute directly. But before now, in the last 2 years, we are prosecuting using the office of the DPP. But Amotekun has a full-fledged director seconded from the Ministry of Justice to represent the state in the prosecution.
Okay. Now, in your operations, going the field and all of that, I'd like to ask you, what category of criminals do you feel are the most problematic? We've spoken about bandits, spoken about, I don't know if there's very much of a difference between bandits and armed robbers, and kidnappers. What is the largest kind of segment that you encounter?
Let me analyze across board.
Sure.
In the last 3 years when we started, the most prevalent problem in those states at that time was farmers' headers flash.
Okay.
And we had them in thousands at that time.
Okay.
And going through the process of education and going through the process of mass literacy to both the farmers and the headers, the volume of complaints that we had reduced by over 90% as we talk. So most worrisome now are the issue of robbery, armed robbery, and kidnapping. And that's why we deployed our men to every major junction, most bad portions of the road, black spots, as we say, is extremely, extremely difficult for a criminal to thrive anywhere in Ondo State.
So,
yeah, it's extremely difficult.
Okay. When you're talking about banditry now, since you said, thanks to God and your diligent work, there haven't been banks haven't been hit in recent time. So we're talking about people probably hitting private facilities. Is there very much of that? People being attacked in their homes?
What we had more now is house breaking, shop breaking, and that's the reason why if you go through the streets of Akure, you find out that every major junction, you find operatives of Ondo State Security Network. Some of them motorized, some of them on bikes, some of them in plain clothes. And that's why we, in the last 2 months, will have paraded well over 200 of such criminals. So the most worrisome, like I told you, is that of kidnapping, which had gone down tremendously. In fact, we only have serious cases of kidnappings at border because they know they can't thrive or survive in Ondo State.
Okay. Reverend Dominic is on the line. Good morning, Reverend Dominic, and thank you very much for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Good morning and Happy New Year.
Indeed, compliments of the New Year to you, Reverend.
Yeah. Honestly, what you are discussing there, to me personally, I may be wrong. The story sounds to me as if you are discussing another nation, not Nigeria. In sense of the security and insecurity we find ourselves. Does it worry you? Since over 12, 13 years we fight in this war. I may be wrong or right. I'll not find one man, one actor in prison, went through trial and went to prison because of this insecurity. And this will keep killing at will. Look at what happened in the Ekiti the other day. How do we lose our king? 2, do you know, before it is taboo for you to throw a stone on the house of the king, that you kill 2 kings a day, and the same day you kidnap children, they're asking for ransom. That's by the way. Do you know it's as bad as this, that even banks have been fingered in this kidnapping, and nothing happened. A week ago, I read it outside Nigeria, that there are some banks that is culpable in this issue. I said, head will roll. But after that story comes, it sounds like social media story, and it passed away. How do we live in a nation where we're not secured? I just saw in Alemosho there. Every day, they release their captive, somewhere in Governor in Alemosho here. You can do your business. Every day, they will release their captive here. They kidnap every day. What we see in media is what's reported. In fact, if you take kidnapping in Nigeria every day, 5 is not reported. The insecurity here is part of this story. Honestly, with due respect of the man in Ondo, the insecurity we find in Nigeria is part of this story. How do we live every day? Nobody's sure where he's dead. Nobody's sure to sleep and wake up. Number 2, this is a war. We must fight and fight headlong. If we must fight it, we must fight it well. Let me say finally, Yore, what happened in Ekiti is a test ground to find these people. This is a government issue now. They can go, let's say it, I want to say it now. It's not supposed to be saying it, but let's say it because we're in a bad situation. Can't governor of Ekiti go to CBN and take 100 million and give this hoodlum and we fill it from there? How do we pay hundreds of millions every day? They come back to bank, we can't trace it. All of us, let me use this word. There's something I said to you sometimes, somebody insulted me. I said the governors in the north know the so-called respect. One of our guests here insulted me. All of us now are capable of this problem. All Nigerians are capable of this problem. The bankers, the people who take money, the people who take ransom, they will come back to us. So all of us are capable of this. If we must fight terrorism in Nigeria, everybody, banks, individuals, government, You know, I mean, police must put your hands together.
Okay,
because
Reverend.
the thing is on us now.
All right, Reverend. Okay. Actually, you were telling us, Akogun, that you have the utmost cooperation, from the authorities in Ondo State. But you heard the Reverend's submission. Would you like to react to it?
What I want to say is that Nigeria is a very large nation. And you look at a situation where an operative is an indigene of, say, Katsina, Borno State. He wants to operate in Ondo State, and there is robbery or kidnapping issue. He doesn't know the nitty-gritty of the bush and everything in issue. He has to rely on the intel of those who he's not sure they're telling him the truth. So that boils down to the fact that local policing, which I want to call state policing, appeared for now to be the only major solution to this perennial problem. The bureaucracy that is involved in this large establishment, the order, the retinue of bureaucracy that has to be carried out before operations are done, and a lot of things makes it, in fairness to these mother security agencies, makes it very difficult for them to act. Unlike take for instance, within 1 hour of what happened to school children in Ekiti State, my governor, Honorable Mr. Loki Aedatiwa, directed that I mobilize men, and we moved to Ekiti to assist. You know, it takes a longer period and process for them to get directives from Abuja to the zonal office, and so on. So, coming to the grassroots to police the country, as bad as the security situation is, appeared to be the solution to the present insecurity in Nigeria.
Okay. Mr. George in Ikeja, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guest.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I want to first of all thank the Amotekun commander there for the good job that he and his men have been doing. We've been watching them, and we like what they are doing. If not for the Amotekun, by now, the Southwest would have been overrun by this Boko Haram and the other miscreants. So please keep up the work.
Thank you very much.
Uncle Yori, it beats me hollow. Why an outfit like Amotekun would be giving us better results than our established security agencies? Because that is the fact if you look at it critically. We are, everybody is complaining kidnappers, we kidnap people. Then police will tell us they've been rescued. But you will rescue people, what about those who kidnap them? We will not see those ones. You can see the Amotekun commanders parading the criminals. We don't see the criminals. What is happening in Abuja, for example, of recent, is an indication that if police really want to tackle these kidnappers and bandits, that they can. Within 1 month of operation, you can see the number of arrests they have made. So it calls to question. The security strategy needs a review.
All right.
Secondly, it is now obvious that this recent surge in insecurity across the country has some political connotations. Otherwise, why would opposition leaders be mocking the president? Are they not part of our country? If there is insecurity in the land, can it not also affect them? Why would a fellow citizen be mocking the president because of security? I want to advise the Southwest governors. They should please come together again and arm Amotekun to the teeth. At least this is the only region now in the country that you can readily say there is element of safety there.
All right, then.
They shouldn't let it go.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. I'll come over to you, Akogun, for a rejoinder, but let's take a quick break. I will be right back. We'll continue with you and, of course, taking the call. Stay with us, please.